The following episode of Dave's Video Graveyard contains spoilers and naughty words. Listener discretion is advised.
Have you ever bought or rented a videotape that wasn't quite right? It may have been a pirate copy.
Ratings advice. Use it. It's on every...
We're going streaking!
Dave's Video Graveyard.
That guy in a little coat.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm not a smart man.
Shut up! One tubby.
What's wrong with him?
My first thought would be alive.
Why so serious?
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Of all the radio shows in the world, this is definitely one of them. Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
It is 100.5 Wow FM, Dave's Video Graveyard for your Monday night. A huge pleasure to be with you, whatever you may be doing in this unseasonably cold evening. Actually, it's not unseasonable at all, of course. The start of winter is upon us. It is time once again for a Guest Choice Special, and I am joined this evening by a very peculiar man. I am joined by Bones Malone, currently residing at Wrestle Rampage. Bones, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, for those who don't know, you are one of those folk that enjoy a little bit of violence in the ring. I'm talking about professional wrestling. How did you get into it?
How did I get into it? Probably the same way that a lot of pro wrestlers tend to get into it, which is...
You already had the outfit?
Well, not quite. Starting in the backyard, it's very common to throw down some mattresses and get your friends around and do some horribly dangerous things. Did that for a while, and my mum basically got sick of me putting myself in physical harm, so she sought out an actual pro wrestling school where I can actually learn to actually wrestle, and she found the Wrestle Rampage Dojo, which was run by Jag Hartley Jackson, who is now known as the godfather of Australian wrestling. He's wrestled all over the world. He's trained in the WWE. He's in Japan now.
His cheat days are a thing of legend.
Yes, they are. Yeah, the man can consume hot dogs like it's nothing. The rest is history.
So before the point of the backyard, what inspired you? When did you realize that you wanted to get hurt for a living?
Yeah, well, geez, I mean, the one wrestler that got me into wrestling was definitely Kane.
Nice.
Just because, I mean, there's no one like Kane. He was just an actual monster. He didn't look like a guy in a mask. He looked like an actual monster. And I was a massive metalhead as well, so he looked like a metalhead.
Oh, he was metal as can be.
So that's what got me excited about wrestling. And then, you hear of people messing around in the backyard, and you play the wrestling games and...
Grew up with, mostly the Attitude Era, if you're into the WWF.
Yes, my favorite era.
As it was mine. And I just think it's so funny, like all these wrestlers that we grew up idolizing, they grew up idolizing Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair, all these older guys.
Yeah.
And we grew up playing WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Yeah.
And that's what got us all inspired and in love with wrestling. And it's quite funny, that difference of thing. Have you kept up with any of the products, or you're more of an indies guy?
You mean like watching wrestling? Yeah, I have lately. I've never watched more wrestling than I do now, thanks to the WWE Network.
Yeah.
Just binging all the old stuff I used to watch as a teen, and all the Attitude Era stuff, and I keep up to date now. I never used to. it's funny. I used to watch like Raw and SmackDown back in the day when I started wrestling. Then I started wrestling and I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You just see
that
it
is
differently.
such a trend with so many pro wrestlers.
Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, and I just didn't watch it for just years. I was too focused on actual wrestling. It's really silly. And then just recently, I've just been binging it like crazy. I watch like every day.
Now, I've checked where my wallet is multiple times since you got here because you are a metalhead. You're one of those guys.
yes, of course. Watch out for your wallets.
Yeah.
Lock off your daughters.
No, so tell us about the metal you're into, particularly the metal you make.
Yeah, I'm in a 3-piece thrash metal band called Road Hall. So thrash is mostly my thing. My favourite band in the whole wide world is Pantera, and always will be. Megadeth as well, but it's
So you've been having a rough few weeks then.
yeah. I'm all over the place though. Like I like Elton John and stuff. So, I'm all over the place.
And can people check out Road Hall?
Not for the moment. They can check us out on Spotify. We actually managed to record an album called Shredded, which is on Spotify. You can check that out. Hear me play guitar. But since I've been back into wrestling, unfortunately, I just haven't had the time. I look forward to doing it, but there's only so long I know my body can handle wrestling. There is a time limit on it. Whereas with music, I know that I can do that forever.
Yes.
I can be 70 years old and I can play. I can slow it down, but I can play.
Yeah.
So for now it's all about the wrestles.
And being that you're such a huge Pantera fan, have you mastered the dive bomb?
I try to fit them in like in every song all the time, way too much. Like I get way too greedy, but it's just such a cool sound. I'm addicted to it.
I remember seeing an awesome interview with Adam from Killswitch Engage, and they're like, "Oh man, you just all those pinch harmonics, you sneak them in wherever you can. How did you master that?" And he said, "No. There's a man called Dimebag Darrell, and he is the master. I am an apprentice at best." But no, that's awesome. So this evening, we're going to be talking all about your 10 all-time favorite films. How hard of a list was it to make?
It was surprisingly hard. There's I could have filled it up with all sorts of movies that we all agree are good, The Matrix and Scarface and Aladdin.
Yeah.
Like all these movies that
the Will Smith version, of course.
Yes, of course. But yeah, I tried to make it a bit more, I don't know, movies that I in particular think are cool and just a little bit more obscure. And I can fun.
Little bit of a spoiler, I can say that apart from the guest that picked Grave of the Fireflies, you've picked two of the most soul-crushing films of all time, in my opinion. So got that to look forward to this evening.
Yes, I've heard of Grave of the Fireflies.
Of course, anyone listening can join in the conversation. Simply head on over to social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Look up Dave's Video Graveyard on WOW FM and let us know where we go wrong. Of course, any mistakes are on Bones, and anything that's good is on me. That's the usual rules.
Fair enough.
So we're going to play a little bit of music this evening, and right after that, we'll be coming back with a high-fidelity quiz. This is 100.5 WOW FM.
Nowhere to run to, baby. Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play.
This is DVG on WOW FM.
I know you're no good for me.
It is Dave's Video Graveyard. We are joined by Bones Malone, professional wrestler. And if you're looking to check out some of Bones' work, you can head over to social media, particularly Instagram. Where can people find your work?
Instagram, like you say. So I'm not going to do it for you. Don't be lazy.
Just look up Bones Malone. It's all you got to do. Now, it is time for the very special segment that I stole from another WOW FM show. It is time for the High Fidelity Quiz. So let's hear from that, if it plays.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is DVG on WOW FM.
It is time for the high fidelity quiz where we get a little bit of an idea about our guests. Now, the first question for Bones. What was your local video store growing up?
That would be a Video Easy. It's so funny even just to say those words now. Down in Sunnybrook, where I would walk down to, and not so much movies though, but mostly video games. Mostly just spend an hour searching for like the same Nintendo 64 game.
Did you have the console and just borrow the games, or were you one of those borrow the console?
No, I at least had the console. I wasn't that pathetic.
There's nothing wrong with that. I remember, like, before I knew I was getting a Sega Master System for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't allowed to have one before. It was like, back when parents used to lay-by stuff like 6 months out.
Yeah.
So I knew I had one coming, but I wasn't allowed to have it. So there were the few weekends where I was allowed to hire it from the video shop. And I would go to school Monday with just blisters from playing it from 4 o'clock Friday afternoon till like 9 o'clock Sunday night, just nonstop. All right. You're 10 years old. That's it. I'm just insulting you. I'm calling you a 10-year-old.
Fair enough.
What is your favorite TV show?
I was, and I still am, massively into cartoons. So, and my favorite of all the cartoons at that time was probably Are Real Monsters.
Wow,
just
nice.
like the creepy aesthetic of it, and I just thought it was hilarious. And
so you're a Nick kid?
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. What was your favorite ice cream?
Ice cream? It's definitely, by far, the Bubble-O Bill.
A classic.
It
You
was a
cannot go
classic.
wrong.
Just the novelty of having bubble gum in your ice cream, it worked on me.
And still to this day, you can buy a Bubble-O Bill with the exact same bubble gum from the same batch that we were having as kids.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Your favorite junk food as a kid?
Chocolate in all its forms.
Nice.
That has never changed.
What about fruit and chocolate?
No, sorry, just chocolate. I'm a purist.
Great call.
Yeah.
Great call. I'm quite often getting regifting fruit chocks.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Who put healthy in my chocolate?
Yeah, exactly. Please take them.
Your favorite book as a 10-year-old?
I can safely say I wasn't reading books at 10.
Great
or
answer.
in my teens or in my 20s.
I've read 6 books since high school.
There you go.
Your favorite toys?
Favorite toy? 10 years old. It's probably that's probably the era of for me anyway, was the NES, not the Super NES, but the NES.
NES,
While everybody was playing Super NES, I was stuck with the NES, but I loved it.
What were the go-to games?
Duck Hunt, of
Wow,
course.
nice.
The Super Mario Duck Hunt Duo cartridge. I had a game called.
We had the Tetris Dr. Mario dual car.
Yes.
For NES.
I had a real weird one that I would love to play it again. It's a Jackie Chan game, but it was like a side scroller. It was like super looked so 80s like anime, just that real fantastical pinks and blues and frogs jumping around. Like, man, I want to play that again.
That sounds incredible. All right. You're in charge of a new Mount Rushmore of your favorite actors or actresses. Who are you putting up there?
Okay. I'll make this clear. This is my Mount Rushmore, so I'm sure they're
it's the
real.
Bones Malone.
Exactly. Number one on there has to be my favorite actor, which is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow, good call.
Next, Jim Carrey, just for all the years of laughter he's given me. Who else? I think Robin Williams, just because of his range. He's a powerful actor. And probably Will Smith. Will Smith, again, like the nostalgia for me. I was obsessed with Men in Black and Independence Day and stuff, and yeah, he's, again, super powerful actor.
I think I loved everything he was in up until like Concussion. Like I was still rooting
right there
for
with
him.
Yeah.
Would you prefer, pretend it's not the world that we live in now, but the world we used to live in, would you prefer to watch a movie at home or at the cinemas?
I tried. As I get older, I try to avoid the cinemas as much as possible, and that's pre-COVID, like you said. if it's for something like massive, like I saw Godzilla, like the reboot of Godzilla,
Yes.
and that was just so good in cinemas. It was just so big. It had this real slow burn feel to the movie, and like you only catch glimpses of him,
Yeah.
and when you do, and then at the end, and the fire, so good. But like anything that's not a massive blockbuster, definitely I'll just keep it at home, away from the cretins,
away from the people. Food of choice when you do go to the cinema.
Well, I know it's so controversial, but I like to eat popcorn at the cinemas.
Oh, we haven't had that answer before. You win a prize.
Popcorn and Maltesers, definitely the go-to.
Do you do the mix?
I
Because we've had a few
don't.
savages come in and talk about the mix.
Honestly, it's never occurred to me in all these years.
And I've got a feel for the people that clean the cinema, for those savages that mix the hot popcorn with the things. Which character, fictional character, do you relate with the most?
I reckon, in some way, I'd say Garth from Wayne's World. Just because there's a nerdy metalhead that's just like awkward, and he's the friend of the main character. That's how I see my life. I'm the friend of the main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Which film that didn't get one deserves a sequel?
I wanted a Mad Max Fury Road sequel. The reboot of Mad Max was so good, and I know they're working on a prequel, I think, of like Furiosa, and that'll be good, and I'll definitely see it. But I watched Mad Max for Mad Max, and yeah, bring that on.
Nice. And you said you had trouble with the next question about who would play you in a biopic. You just couldn't come up with something.
I just got nothing.
What about a super de-aged Rob Zombie? And director as well.
Sure. Yeah, he can do both. He can do double duty. I'm happy with that. I love his movies.
Nice. And what would be the main title song if you did have a biopic?
Oh, I thought that like it would make sense that it would be my entrance music, which is Revolution Is My Name by Pantera, or anything by Pantera.
Fair enough. No Damage Plan?
I like Damage Plan. Anything that Dimebag's involved with, I'm on board.
Which movie freaked you out as a child?
Definitely the 1985 live-action iteration of Alice in Wonderland.
Wow.
So, like, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but the bits that I do remember were traumatizing, of like the scenes where the Jabberwocky would come in and like the lights would flash, and it was just like, obviously no CG. It was just everything was real and floppy and disgusting. Like, yeah, just it's a kid's movie, but like, yeah, I have to see it again. I just have to.
I was like that with Return to Oz.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, but I think that Jabberwocky just comes over the line.
Nice. If you could drive any car from any film or any vehicle, what would it be?
I'll be honest, I'm not a car guy, but
That's fine.
I would say, again, for nostalgia, and that's why I love this show. I just look around and there's so much nostalgia everywhere. It's great. But the Batmobile from Batman Returns.
Lovely.
For me, that was just the coolest car that could possibly exist.
Who doesn't want to set a street performer on fire with the exhaust of their car? Honestly. And the final question, I've exited out, so I cannot remember what it was. But we will move on to the next section that we have.
Sure.
You don't know about this. This is a Would You Rather.
Oh, okay.
So you
Bring
don't
it
get
on.
to prepare for this one.
No, this is good. I like it.
Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Harry Potter.
Okay, fair enough. Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones?
Oh, Breaking Bad by far.
Nice. Selma Hayek or Selma Hayek?
Selma Hayek.
Good answer.
Yeah.
The other correct answer is both.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep. Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future. Gotta pick one.
That's brutal. Let's just go Back to the Future. I've seen it more times.
Nice. Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio? And it has to be from one film. So which Leo are you picking?
Oh man. I only just recently saw Wolf of Wall Street, and that he was just blew me away in that. So yeah, he's an acting machine. I love him.
The scene where you get to see his idea of him driving in the Lamborghini and then the reality of it.
Yes,
the
it's
greatest.
so good.
All right, Shawshank Redemption or Stand By Me?
Shawshank.
Edward Scissorhands or Nightmare Before Christmas?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Johnny Depp or Gene Wilder?
I got to say I mean, I got to say Johnny Depp just for the amount of movies that I've seen of his.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
fine.
only fair.
Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
Schwarzenegger, definitely.
Good answer. The Witches or Matilda?
Matilda.
Correct.
Special place in my heart, that movie.
This is like one of my all-time favorite movies, and it gets so much crap on this question. I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah.
The Lost Boys or Interview with the Vampire?
I haven't seen either. So
That's fine. That's an answer.
Lost Boys.
Nice. Batman, Spider-Man.
Batman, definitely.
Deadpool or Harlequin?
Harley Quinn.
Aggro or Cheese TV?
Cheese TV.
Good answer.
Yes.
Pizzas or burgers?
Burgers.
Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters?
Ninja Turtles.
Good answer. Friends or Seinfeld?
Seinfeld.
Good answer. And your final question.
Yes.
If you could make the entire world watch one movie, are you going to use that power for good or evil? Are you going to make them watch the worst movie you've ever seen, or are you going to make them watch your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, man.
How are you going to wield that axe?
Oh. No, that's too evil. I was saying, I was almost going to say Cannibal Holocaust.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Oh, man.
Let's go with it.
That scarred me for life.
Well, you've just scarred the entire...
Well, they have to share my pain. Sorry, world.
That is it. Well, we are going to be getting into your 10 all-time favourite films. Don't forget, everyone can join in the conversation through social media. This is 100.5 Wow FM.
He rode a blazing saddle.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something about this immediately. Immediately. Harumph, 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 harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. Give the governor harumph. Harumph. You watch your ass.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
It is Dave's Video Graveyard, joined by Bones Malone, taking us through his 10 favourite films of all time. Coming in at number 10 from 2005, it is the musical remake of The Producers from one of the all-time greatest directors in the world. We are talking about The Producers from 2005. Bones Malone, why did you pick this movie?
I mean, God, it just makes me laugh. Nathan Lane just makes me laugh so hard. It's so good. Wish I had specifics, but you just got to go out and see it.
It's so funny. Like, it is such a well-rounded movie. So many of the cast are from a musical background, like stage plays and stuff.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it was a commercial failure because it was made for $45 and it only made $38 million. However, that doesn't really matter because it was kind of a modern-day version, you know, because you no longer have to go back to the 1967 version when you want to watch this.
Exactly.
And no one outdoes Nathan Lane. I think the closest anyone has ever come was Robin Williams in another movie we'll be talking about this evening.
Yes.
But yeah, do you remember the first time you saw this one?
Yeah, my friend, Greg Graham, another wrestler. All my friends are wrestlers.
Yuck.
Just put it on. He said, "You got to see this, man. This movie is hilarious." I'm like, "Really? The Producers? What is this?" And it's not the type of movie at that period of my life that I thought I'd be watching. But then, man, as soon as it started, I just could not stop laughing.
Essentially, for those who haven't seen it, it's two money con men, one played by Ferris Bueller himself, the other one Nathan Lane, realize that they can actually write off a movie if it's a flop, whereas they can't if it's a success. I actually wonder if that's what Mel Brooks did in real life, being that this was a commercial failure. But after putting together another Broadway flop, down on his luck promoter, Max Bialystock teams up with a timid accountant, Leo Bloom, in a get-rich-quick scheme, and it is so much fun. You got to love a movie where it seems like all the cast are just having so much fun being there. Like Will Ferrell, part of kind of the new age of comedy, going up against the comedy great that is Nathan Lane.
That's exactly
and he's
what it
really
is.
got to bring it. And Uma Thurman seems like, I think this is the most fun you ever see her have in a movie.
Yeah, certainly looks like a set I would want to be on. It's just everyone's just such big characters and just having a time of their life, and they do it so well.
Do you revisit this one a lot?
Yeah.
It's a hard sell, though, I've got to say. Like, how hard is it to tell anyone to go and watch this musical you love?
I know, yeah, absolutely. Again, it was a hard sell to me, but I'm glad I bought. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, that is it. Well, let's get into the next movie that you have chosen. Before then, let's play a little bit of music. This is 100.5 Wow FM.
But I think that the music was a little loud.
Are you afraid of it?
No, I just don't like techno.
You would if you had robot ears.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
I hate your face. Did you say something?
Perhaps the most beautiful animated feature of all time.
Yes.
But it has a, like, I reckon this must be a later generation's version of Return to Oz, because there is so much in this movie that, like, would disturb you if you were a kid.
For sure. But yeah, like you said, it's just so beautiful. It's just
man,
like being
what a film.
Being an artist and like being able to, on some level, being able to appreciate the amount of detail and work that's gone into just every frame of that. And the quality of animation, it's just such a feat. It doesn't seem possible.
Studio Ghibli across the board.
Yeah.
To know that it is matte painting after matte painting after matte painting, like individually painted cells. Like,
yeah, it's insane.
It is an absolute undertaking. Anyone knows anything about animation, but for it to turn out so well rounded, like it is, I feel like this came out like 2001, and this was kind of the shot across the world where it's like, animators need to step up. You know, we can't release like Balto Part 6.
That's right.
You've actually got to put some labor of love into it.
Exactly.
And where do you stand with Ghibli? Do you love a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, like my wife's a massive Ghibli nerd. We got Totoros all over their house, so there's a few that I like. Spirited Away is definitely my favorite, just because the amount of imagination they managed to pack into those couple of hours. It's just, I love expecting the unexpected. You have no idea what's coming up in each scene, and it's just, so cool.
And I know it sounds so silly and cliche, but your first Studio Ghibli you watch actually is life-changing, because it changes your perspective on what an animated feature is. Like, honestly. If you go into this and like Lion King's the grittiest thing you've seen, you are in for a treat and a ride. But like I mentioned earlier, some of the Ghibli movies can absolutely crush you and you'll never recover.
Yeah, see, now I haven't seen Grave of the Fireflies.
Please don't.
I never intend to, especially like being a dad now as well.
Yeah.
Like, the older I get, the more sensitive I get, and I'm already a sensitive person. So, like, something.
I'm exactly
my
the
wife.
same.
My wife has seen it, and she's more sensitive than me, not by much, but she's just said, "Do not watch this movie."
No, 100%. There's only a few movies that I actively tell people not to see, and none of it is a shortcoming when it comes to that movie. Like, it is an incredible movie.
Yeah.
But if you want to think about it in your quiet moments for the next year,
that's right.
If not, maybe steer clear of that. How often do you revisit Spirited Away?
Every now and then. Like I said, I'm a parent now. I have a 2-year-old running around, so the time I have to actually just sit down and watch a movie is few and far between. But at least that's a movie that I can actually show. I think we showed it to him recently, actually. I can keep coming back to it. That's the beauty of these Ghiblis, because they're just so beautiful to look at.
Oh, it really is. Like, we're slowly introducing my kids to it just because they're very sensitive as well.
Yeah.
But man, you've definitely picked one of the best.
Good.
Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about your second Nazi movie this evening. I don't know if there's a thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just love those Nazis.
Anyway, let's get into the next movie. This is 100.
This is Dave's Video Graveyard.
2009, Quentin Tarantino decided it was time to poke fun at the worst people in human history, we are talking about Inglourious Basterds from 2009. Why did you pick this movie?
I'm just a huge Tarantino fan. God, I love his movies. I love that they're just inexcusably cool. He just doesn't care, except for just. I'm a violent dinosaur, so it's God, I love it.
There's a few there's great movies that everyone agrees are great movies, but then there's great movies that have some of the most amazing performances. I don't think anyone on earth could deliver the scene that Christoph Waltz does with the milk at the dairy at the start.
Yes,
that scene is a masterclass in incredible acting.
Yes,
as is the Michael Fassbender in the bar, like the three.
Yes,
those two scenes are probably the most powerful acting in a movie, let alone they're in the same movie.
I know. Oh, so good. Yeah.
This is one of those movies you catch changing the channels every now and then. You're like, looks like I'm here for the next hour and a half.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah, just the slow burn. I love that slow burn of Tarantino's. I can just sit there and just listen to... See, the thing is, like, I love the over-the-top violence and stuff, but I think I like the dialogue more in his movies.
100%.
That's what just keeps me captivated, and then the violence is just the dessert. It's just the payoff for sticking around, and I just fall in. I just like smiling ear to ear, just listening to every word.
I find a strange thing with Tarantino films with the rewatchability. So often you start watching a movie, say you've seen it the month before, and you watch this movie again. Somehow you push out the end out of your head.
Yeah.
And you watch it as if you think something different's going to happen at the end, or you're like, oh, this is going to happen, this will happen. And you're waiting for all these plans to unfold. And it's...
Yeah, it's because it's just so cool when it does. Whatever happens, it's just so off the wall.
Have you seen all of Tarantino's stuff?
I wouldn't say I've seen all of them. I'm sure there's some stuff that I'm missing, but yeah, I've seen a lot. I saw Reservoir Dogs only recently.
I saw it
but man, so good. I was just like, it just had me again. I love that style of just the slow burn conversations they have, and then just like the shocking twists in the middle of the movie. Like, I just love it. So.
And that's it. I decided to fill the holes a while ago and start watching be a completist and watch like the stuff he'd written, and including It's Pat. I don't know if you remember that movie.
What is it?
It was a Saturday Night Live movie. The character was called It's Pat, and the whole premise is no one knows whether Pat's a girl or a boy.
Okay.
And Julius Sweeney, the main actor, was best friends with Tarantino, and they lived together back in the day. Okay. So he actually rewrote the movie without any credit, uncredited.
Yeah.
And it's the most un-Tarantino thing you could ever imagine, because it's a Saturday Night Live movie. But True Romance, the first thing that he ever wrote, was directed by Ridley Scott, and that is incredible. Like, that has Tarantino all over it.
Awesome.
You watch it and you just go, man, whoever wrote this is ripping off Tarantino. Oh no, he wrote it.
That's awesome.
And yeah, there's some really great stuff. 4 Rooms really sucks. It's a movie where 4 different directors.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it at all. No. But yeah, my personal favourite's The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, so good. That's definitely up there for me. It didn't make the list because I don't know. I was trying to. It's just so hard to fit them all in. But yeah, I watched that again recently too, and yeah, again I had seen it before, and it was just as cool the second time.
It's so funny with Inglourious Basterds hearing things like The Bear Jew was written for Adam Sandler, and he turned it down. Yeah, that would change the entire movie.
That really would.
Instead, we got Eli Roth, who went on to ruin horror movies.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. Now, you got some wrestling coming up.
Yes. We're all...
When and where?
So, June 26, Cosgrove Hall in Clovelly Park. We're all very, very excited for this one. I haven't been more excited to do a wrestling show in my whole wrestling career, because it's our first one coming out of COVID. We've been doing lots of like house shows in front of like 60 people, which has been good. It's been lovely, but
it's been a compromise.
Yeah, but it has been a compromise because we just want more people, and we finally get to do it in front of it's like 300 people again. So we're dying to get out there. Come see us.
Awesome. And you can get tickets. Head over to Wrestle Rampage Dojo and Wrestle Rampage Australia on Instagram and just follow the links.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
You'll find it.
It is good times. Let's jump back into the movies. It's time for the Feel Bad Hit of the Summer. This is 100.5 Wow FM.
Looks like you're keeping your bod pretty tight. You're looking pretty good yourself. Well, every day's a workout when you gotta carry around a 20-pound python in your jeans.
You and your dick comments.
It's fun to say them.
It's fun to hear them.
That's why I say them.
That's why I listen.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
What a soul-crushing, beautiful film you have chosen.
Yeah.
From 2008, we are talking about 7 Pounds, starring the Fresh Prince. So go into it just knowing that. Just think of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and go and see this feel-good hit. I don't want to spoil the ending, so we're not going to.
That's the thing, yeah. It's hard to talk about this one
because
without...
it's very powerful.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, this movie is a grueling experience, but it is just so beautiful.
It's so worth it. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's definitely one of the movies that have evoked the most powerful emotional response from me. It's the saddest movie I've ever seen, but it's just so beautifully put together. And obviously Will Smith is just such a powerful actor, so perfectly suited to the role as well.
Definitely.
He just does such a good job. And
it's a testament to him as a person, because the character in the film is so charismatic and does not want anyone to like him. And perfect, like you say, perfectly cast, because that is for a very long time who Will Smith was to the world. It was, just man, it's really hard to talk about because I don't want to give anything away.
Exactly.
Because I would love for everyone to see this film, but I don't want to rob them of any of the reveal or any of what this movie is.
I had that thought too, but it's just, please see it. Please see this movie. It's just going to change your life forever.
If you are congested coming into flu season and you want to just straight up cry snot,
just get it out.
This is the movie.
This will get it out, yeah.
Yeah. Do you revisit this one, or is it? I've seen it once.
No, I've seen it once,
it,
and I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it again. I really would, because it is such a powerful movie. But like I said, the older I get, the more emotional I get, and like, it feels good to get sad in movies. Like, I like the feeling of getting teary. Like,
feel alive.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good feeling. But you got to mentally prepare yourself for this one.
Maybe have a cartoon backed up to watch straight after. What a feel good, feel bad film.
Exactly.
Make sure you check out 2009's 7 Pounds. This is 100.5 Wow FM.
See, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. You dig.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
Now imagine if the man responsible from Dusk Till Dawn wrote and directed a zombie movie. It is as glorious as you would imagine. We are talking about Planet Terror, released in America and Northern America as part of a double feature with the Grindhouse, but the Weinstein Film Company got cold feet and through Dimension Films refused to distribute it across the rest of the world as it was supposed to be presented as a double feature. So it became, two different movies, Death Proof, and this was the flip side. A lot of people consider this the lesser of the two films, but I have a feeling that my guest this evening may agree that it is just as good, if not better. Why have you chosen Planet Terror?
I mean, I preferred it. It was just a fun movie. It's just a fun gore fest.
If you were to get a piece of paper and just write dot points of this movie, it sounds like a fever dream, but at the same time, it is one of the most incredible movies in the elements that it has. Like, you've got the Lawnmower Man, you've got Kyle Reese from Terminators in there, Hicks from Aliens. There are some incredible scenes in this, particularly one being when the big bad Josh Brolin in this movie injects his wife with anesthesia in her hands.
Yes.
So she's running through a town that's being overrun by violent zombies, but she can't use her hands. It is such an incredible... It was likened to Kill Bill, where the bride can't use her feet in the start of that movie.
Yeah.
It's very similar, but it's just played... It's played for comedy, but the stakes just keep rising, and it's like such a thing. Why'd you choose this movie?
It's just... It made me laugh. It's a very funny movie as well. It's actually like very humorous. But I'm just a fan of cool things, and it's just zombies are cool. I went through a massive like zombie movie phase in my teens where I owned pretty much, if it had dead in the title, I probably owned it on DVD. So I've always had a soft spot for zombie mutilation.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I heard on the rumor mill that you love this movie because of your undying love for the Black Eyed Peas and the fact Fergie's in this movie.
Oh,
so that's the rumor that's going around.
I forgot she was in it, actually.
She looks very good in this movie. I mean, she acts very well in this movie.
Yeah, all right.
She's Josh Brolin's wife's girlfriend in this movie.
Oh.
They're going to run off together, but she gets gets attacked by zombies. And it's actually her that causes the car accident that makes Rose McGowan lose her leg.
Yeah, that's right. It's all coming back. It's
There's
been a while.
so much fun in this movie.
It is.
It's so
It's
gory,
fun.
so silly. It's been done again in a few different... It was done in the original Dawn of the Dead from the 70s, but seeing a helicopter kill zombies is just... chef's kiss.
Yes. Yeah, I got to see this one again. It's been a while.
I was just listening to the trailer. I was like, I've got to rewatch this one.
Yeah.
Because I managed to... Man, I just wish I held out getting into DVDs because I have the double standard definition because that's as good as it got back then.
Yeah.
The double actual Grindhouse pack with the steelbook.
Awesome.
And now it's like probably looks terrible on all televisions.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are you still a big collector when it comes to zombie stuff?
No, that ended. Nowadays, I just don't have...
It's the oversaturation. Is that what got you out of it?
I don't know. I think I just went on to other things. I'm just such a busybody. I do a lot of things, and a lot of different things hold my attention. So, music, art, and wrestling, and video games, and just, I'm all over the place. So
now, many people may not know this, but one of the first ever designs we got done for DVG was by yours truly.
That's right, from Boneyard Studios.
Yeah.
And I was super, super happy to do that particular one because of the themes.
Yes.
It was good fun.
It's not every day you get to... And you're not just talking about the movie it referenced. You're just a huge fan of flame shirts.
Of course, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Iconic.
I'm going
to try to. Like I said, God, it's so hard to find time to watch movies. And but yeah, I'll make time for this one.
What I really love about Robert Rodriguez films is he manages to be all over the shop with tone, but it still works. Like it still feels like the same roller coaster ride because there is a very harrowing scene that Robert Rodriguez wanted to put in this film to let everyone know. See everyone in this movie shooting guns and making guns look awesome. Guns are still really awul. So there's the scene with the sun.
Yeah,
that's in there.
Right. It just
he just wanted to remind everyone.
It's great. Yeah, good point because it's a really good thing to throw in there.
Like, look, her legs are guns. Guns are awesome.
And they go, oh, wait a minute. They're talking about some real shit.
And this movie features Sheriff Earl McGraw, who's a character that was used in From Dusk to Dawn, Death Proof. He was in the From Dusk to Dawn TV show. He's a shared character in the Troublemaker Studio universe and the Tarantino universe.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even know that. Oh, yeah.
He's the Texas Ranger that's in... He's the mum... he's the lady with the anesthetized hands.
Yeah.
Her dad is Earl McGraw, the sheriff.
Yeah, that's right.
He's the sheriff in Death Proof, and he's also the same sheriff that gets killed at the start of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, wow.
So they let the character, same actor as well, play everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's one thing that's funny about, I grew up a massive fan of Aliens.
Yeah.
And watching Planet Terror, Michael Biehn is so old and haggard in it that it's kind of upsetting to watch. You're what happened? What happened?
Time.
Yeah, that's it. But then again, you look at the cast of like Tombstone, and like Kurt Russell still looks incredible, and everyone else is like not doing too well. Anyway, I think it is time we get back into a little bit of music, specifically a bit of your music.
Oh, yeah.
Now
sure.
we'll leave the mics on the whole time and just get you to do a live commentary of the whole song, if that wouldn't be the most uncomfortable thing on earth.
I'll have to talk fast.
No, we are going to hear from Road Hall. This is Death Ride on 100.5 WOW FM.
Where do you live?
In the city.
Do you have a house?
Apartment.
Own or rent?
Rent.
What do you do for a living?
Lots of things.
Where's your office?
I don't have one.
How come?
I don't need one.
Where's your wife?
Don't have one.
How come?
It's a long story.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
How come?
It's an even longer story.
Are you my dad's brother?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
38.
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
You have much more hair on your nose than my dad.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid, that's my job.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOW FM.
95 for my money.
It is Dave's Video Graveyard. Bones Malone taking through his 10 favourite films of all time. We are halfway. We've only got about 50 minutes to get through the West, but I'm sure it can be done. Just having a little talk off air about your upcoming matches and stuff. You don't know yet whose head you're going to be kicking in.
Not yet, no. I look forward to it, whomever it is.
Who is? Let's cause a little bit of heat.
Oh, jeez.
Who is your favourite Australian wrestler at the moment, other than yourself?
Oh, the heat. God. It's so hard to have a favourite. Some of the top guys that are just like, that make me go, holy crap, you can wrestle on that level, is one is definitely Punch Drunk History, who's is the only match that I think has been announced just at the moment. Punch Drunk History versus Joey Graham. If History loses, he is forced to retire. So he's going to be hitting real hard, and yeah, he's amazing to watch. But tons of them, man, like Wrecking Ball Wilson, just he kills people out there. It's and Rat Daddy is one to watch as well. He's the current National Australian Champion, and he's somehow still got that belt. Is kicking ass.
Man, kids love him.
They do. Kids and adults alike. Everybody loves Rat. It's he's one of those guys.
And he's currently got a film at the St Kilda Film Festival.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
When's the Bones Malone story coming out?
Oh, I'm making an appearance in that. I'm somewhere there, and they get a shot of the painted weirdo. But yeah, super cool. He's got his own documentary now, and yeah, it's really cool.
Sweet. Well, hopefully you can get like the fat kid from Sandlot Kids to play me in your movie.
Yeah,
that would be
we can do that.
Perfect casting.
Yeah, we'll tee it up.
Awesome. Let's jump into your next movie. This is decided to try his hand at the westerns, and boy, did it ever land well. Starring DiCaprio as well as Jamie Foxx, James Remar's in there, Don Johnson. There's some amazing actors in this movie for an amazing movie, but the standout was Christoph Waltz, who obviously we spoke about earlier this evening, went on to do Inglourious Bastards. But this movie, what an incredible film. Why did you choose it?
Oh, I love it. Like I said before, Leonardo DiCaprio is my favourite actor of all time. And it just puts on such an intense performance in this movie. The thing that I always think about with this movie is that that improv scene. So when he's got the skull, and he smashes it on the table and cuts his hand, and
badly,
like real badly, like there's blood all over his hand, and he just looks at it, and you can see the moment where he realizes that, and he goes, "Nah, screw it, I'm just going to keep going." And he just
the intensity,
and he raises the bar, so he uses that blood. It's like he sees red, and then just lifts the bar, and just he gets so intense. Ah, I love it. But everyone does such a good job in this movie, and yeah, I love it.
I also think that this movie features some of the most violent fights you'll ever see in a film.
Yeah.
The homestead fights, like just so brutal.
Yeah.
The dog chasing scenes. And obviously it shines a light on a very, very bad part of American history.
Yeah.
But because it is revisionist, it gives a powerful character, which there weren't really many at the time. Have you seen A Million Ways to Die in the West?
No, I keep scrolling past it, and
It is so bad it's good.
Okay.
However, I will spoil this.
Yeah.
The very end of the movie, Django rides into town. And it's Jamie Foxx,
really?
and he's wearing the whole
Kidding.
outfit.
That's
and it's
hilarious.
just, for how low grade quality the film is,
Yeah.
to have that cameo is just so hilarious.
That's great. I would never have
That
picked
movie also features Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown in another cameo.
Actually sounds great.
I'm one of those guys that like loves the movie, but
Yeah, maybe
I
I
can
should check it
admit
out. I
it's
do like Seth
terrible.
MacFarlane a lot.
Yeah, well, I think you'll love it. A lot of recycled jokes from Family Guy,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure there is.
if you enjoy Family Guy, it's perfect.
I'd probably enjoy it.
Now, we shouldn't be talking about this movie when we're talking about Django Unchained, because it is one of the most important cowboy movies
Yes.
in the last 50 years.
Yeah. It's probably the only cowboy movie I've seen.
The Hateful
but I'll take your
Eight.
word for it. I think it's, yeah. Oh, just so good.
The only issue I have in this movie is the character played by Walton Goggins, who keeps calling him Django for the whole movie. There's nowhere where he would have read his name to say
Yeah,
that.
that's a
so
good
that
point.
used to bother me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I get the joke that they're setting up is the D is silent, but
Yeah.
where
But
would he have got the
wouldn't
D
know.
from? No.
That's exactly right. Well, you've ruined the movie for me. It goes back down to number 9
All right,
now.
It's a list of 9 that's been taken off. Nah, that's awesome. Do you revisit this one quite often? Or?
I actually saw it recently. Yeah. Again, and I can just keep watching Tarantino films.
And is that why, I don't want to jump to any assumptions, is that why you're wearing the Crush blue velvet suit this evening?
Okay, you've picked it. Yeah,
Okay.
Good job.
And the horse?
I was hoping you would.
The horse you got here on
Yeah,
that
it's just
unrelated?
just a little scared, but yeah, sorry. I'll go out and see it in a second.
Nice. It's quite funny in this to see John Jarrett turn up as the Aussie prospector for like a
that's
very small
right.
scene.
Yeah.
Especially if you used to watch Better Homes and Gardens in play school back when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because he was known his husband and he was occasionally on there.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Well, we better keep moving through your list this evening. This is 100 point.
Don't you ask when you want to
What is this?
A center for ants?
What? How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building? The center has to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
Talking movies on the radio. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
What happens when the director of Shaun of the Dead decides to take on a comic book property? You get 2010's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, starring Michael Cera. Bones Malone has picked this as one of his all-time favourite films. Why'd you pick this movie?
It's just so fun and creative, and just being a gamer geek. It's just I love all the gaming references all through it. It's
Doesn't matter how many times I watch this movie, though. Ooh, coins.
Ooh, coins.
It's so good.
So good.
Oh, man. Everyone in this movie is famous. And
Yeah.
everyone in this movie went on to do something bigger.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So Captain America's in there.
Captain America.
Mark Ruffalo's in there for a bit. Jason Schwartzman. Tom Jane, who was my favourite Punisher. He turns
Yeah.
up as the vegan police.
Yeah, that's right.
Captain Marvel's in there.
Yes.
There's just so many
Yeah.
actors that went on to do bigger and better things.
Yeah,
but
it's
this
an
movie
instant classic.
is incredible. It's so stylized when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is so modern.
Yeah.
And now watching it, it is still so modern. Like it just
Yeah.
has, but it also is a throwback to, like you say, retro games and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It manages to be like this super futuristic film, but at the same time, super like stuck in the 80s. But then you've got the indie of the 90s when it comes to the music, and it's just such a cool thing.
Yeah, it's super fun, and just I love movies where you just have no idea what's going to come next. It starts off like as this cute sort of funny, gaming related sort of movie. Almost like a teen romantic comedy, and then it just hits a point where you just go, "What is happening?" and it just rockets into this just overload of the senses, and it's just so much fun. It's so good,
It's so colourful too.
yeah.
And it's always funny when like there's a fictional band in a movie, it's so rare when the songs are actually decent.
Yeah.
Like, there's just
Yeah,
something
they're all
about
good
Sex the Bomb.
yeah.
Is so cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to fight any of your partner's exes?
No. I've only had one partner, and that's my wife. So
Lovely.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely?
Did she? Well, she obviously didn't have to fight any of your exes. then.
No, that's right.
Lovely.
So, yeah, it's a
You took
nice,
it totally out of the
Yeah,
equation.
no violence in this relationship.
That's always the best thing.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, it is. Let's jump on into the next movie. This is 100.5 Wow FM. Actually, before then, let's hear a little bit of music. It's Wow FM.
And if someone comes up to you with an attitude, you say, eat me. And if you want to shine them on, it's hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, or later, dickwad.
You're listening to Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 Wow FM.
From the wonderful year of 1996, Bones Malone has picked The Birdcage. Why did you choose this movie?
Because, oh man, I've seen it so many times, and I can watch it
There was
so
not
many
a line
more.
in that trailer that your mouth didn't move along
Oh my
with.
god, yeah, it's just hilarious. Just Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, just a comic duo. Just yeah, it's a masterpiece. It's just really, really funny. It's a really funny movie.
It's perfectly cast in every way. Like Gene Hackman as the straight-laced father of the. Is it Gwyneth Paltrow? Is the
No,
girl?
it's what is it? You know, Felicity. What's her name?
Oh, Felicity. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yep. She was in
Calista
Star Wars.
Flockhart. Is that right? No. I don't know.
Maybe. And Diane Weiss, which is the internet's mum. She's the mum in everything from the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
But honestly, this is, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, Robin Williams and Nathan Lane for probably the only movie in Robin Williams' career where someone keeps up with him.
Yeah, that's exactly
Where
right.
it's almost laugh for laugh in tennis match.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're definitely on par in this one. Nathan Lane just makes me laugh so much.
This was made for $31 million, went on to make $185 million. Rightfully so. This was kind of, I remember it was, because obviously the world we live in now is a little bit different. It was so controversial.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh no, there's so many themes that don't go with what the world want now.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's made it such an important film, though, to look back on, because it's like, it kind of broke the mold in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
And, you know, anytime Robin Williams turns up, you know, if it's not like his last 10 movies, you know that he's bringing it.
Exactly, yeah. No, this is so good.
Would you say this is a movie you watch all the time?
It's not one. No, well, I don't watch any movies all the time, but I've seen it many, many times, and it makes me laugh just as much each time.
I do remember having a version taped off of TV that was so censored. It was like almost half as long because they'd really gone to town on the editing. I also forgot, I was recently watching a thing on YouTube with Hank Azaria from The Simpsons.
Yes.
Breaking down his most iconic roles.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is the one that he was so proud of.
Yeah.
That no one remembers he was in.
Oh my god, yeah, and you can see that he just has such a great time playing Agador, Spartacus.
But just look at who he's working with. Like,
I know. Yeah, exactly. Another really fun set, I reckon. That would have been great.
I bet. I'm just looking, the director Mike Nichols, he made like an absolute classic film as well that's always been considered very important when it comes to, you know, the way relationships are shown in movies, much like The Birdcage. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which was like a 60s classic.
Okay.
And it's funny that he was still kicking in like the 90s to be directing.
Yeah.
He's made a whole heap of it in the conversation. 100.5 Wow FM.
What is it?
It's a gun rack.
A gun rack? A gun rack. Yeah, right. I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack. What am I gonna do with a gun rack?
Talking movies.
We are almost to the end of the list of Bones Malone's favorite Bones Malone's
Sure.
plural. Bones Malone's favorite films of all time. We're down to the second favorite. It is a special from 2013, put out by Adult Swim. There is no trailer that has anything worth listening to. It is considered a rock opera.
Yes.
So you've had musicals, and now you've got an opera on your list. It follows up the season 4 of the television show that inspired it. We are talking about Metalocalypse from Adult Swim, the coolest death metal cartoon on Earth, if not the only.
Yes.
Why'd you pick this?
Massive Metalocalypse fan. It's one of those shows that just feels like it was made for you and your group of friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the music is so good. It's just, for those who haven't seen it, it's just about a death metal band that's just become the 7th greatest power on Earth, and that, like, everybody loves them. And
First time sitting in a chair.
yeah, I've just lowered it and I can't get it back up. It's my first, yeah. All right. Yeah, God, I consider this to be one of the greatest pieces of art ever made by humans. It's just so good.
This it really ticks every box for who you are as a person, because it's got all the over the top, like theatrics and stuff. It's got the metal that you love. But then it's also got the sadistic gore and stuff, saying that you grew up loving all those zombie movies.
Exactly, yeah.
The gore in
That's what I mean.
Metalocalypse.
It
It
feels like
really
it was
does
made
feel like
for
someone
me.
catered to
Exactly.
you. And isn't it funny that we talked a bit about Scott Pilgrim, about the fictional band?
Yeah.
I think perhaps Death Clock is the best fictional band on Earth, because
Yes.
their songs stand up on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. They would release like an album each season, and yeah, God, it's like high quality metal. Like, it's just
And it
so
pays
good.
homage to all the old school metal music videos and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, it is...
While
like-
also sort of making fun of it.
Yeah,
Like, it's the songs themselves are hilarious and about really silly things, and
It's so good
But
that
it's
it's
so good.
it's in on the joke.
Yeah.
Like, it gets to be both edges of the sword. It gets to pay out metalheads.
Yeah.
But it also gets to glorify and love them, because it's what they love.
It gives us exactly what we want.
I still think the standout song of every season is Taking It Easy.
Yes, that never fails to get a laugh.
What an
That's so
amazing...
good. Murderface and Toki Wartooth. Oh man, so good. But yeah, like this, like Doomstar, the clock opera, I think they call it. It just culminates the whole series into this just beautiful piece of art. Just everything, all the songs just work so well together, and the story is good. Just the artwork's amazing. The artwork just keeps getting better and better with each season, and it's just so funny. They're just hilarious characters. It's so good.
For those who haven't seen it, imagine if the animation of Archer was super stylized, super gory, and just better in every way.
That's a good description. Yeah, it's close to Archer.
Oh man,
Which I also like.
What's happening with Metalocalypse now?
Well, there hasn't been anything for so long, and you talk to any Metalocalypse fan, we're just dying to find out the rest of the story, because they keep just teasing stuff each episode, like, without giving anything away. It's just everything was a cliffhanger, but they give you very little as to what the hell is actually going on.
Because that's one thing. Like Adult Swim, they originally the adult spin-off of Cartoon Network, they became their own identity, and they stopped playing by the rules of syndicated animation. So you look at Rick and Morty, you look at Samurai Jack, you look at Metalocalypse. They don't follow rules where they go, here's where the next season drops.
Exactly.
And you might suddenly wake up one day and there's a full season ready. Or you might wake up one day and there's like, here's a 2-minute trailer for something we're not going to release.
That's right. Or it just disappears for years and years. But they've actually only just announced, I think last week sometime, that they're doing a new movie. So an actual Metalocalypse movie, which will be so good.
Please be the continuation of the story.
It definitely will. But maybe we'll get some answers, maybe we won't. But we will laugh. We will all laugh together.
We will. It's so funny. Like, I watched it with someone that doesn't like gore. And I just, you get so used to it that you forget.
Yeah.
And so, because all the episodes basically have a major song in them.
Yeah.
And the song usually is done like a music video in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And you just see, like, there'll be a music video where like all these protesters or like monks in the Church of Death Clock will be running towards all these machine guns and cannons and just getting torn to pieces and stuff. And you're like, oh, this is awesome. But then like you realize that you're desensitized to that from watching it.
That's exactly right. Every episode you're used to seeing fans' heads explode and I can see that. I can see that.
Awesome. Well, it is time for your number one. So let's get right into it and let's hear a little bit from it.
He rode a blazing saddle.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something about this immediately. Immediately. Harumph, 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 harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. Give the governor harumph. Harumph. You watch your ass.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOW FM.
To light the way.
It was 1994, and Quentin Tarantino, high off the success of Reservoir Dogs, wanted to show the world just how good a crime noir / comedy could be. And boy, did he ever deliver. The conversations are so real because we weren't used to seeing action movies where they have real conversations. Yeah. Everything felt like it was in the real world, even when it was heightened. Pulp Fiction. Why did you choose this movie as your all-time favorite film?
My number one. It's like a bunch of different. It's like a bunch of different Tarantino movies all wrapped up in one movie, and that's what I like about it. It's just like bite-sized chunks of awesome acting and violence and those slow burn conversations that I just am addicted to. I just love those conversations about nothing, but they're just so well thought out and natural, and just feels like you're just listening in on an actual conversation. I just love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Is this one of those things where you revisit a lot, or it's just so ingrained in who you are as a film fan that you don't revisit it, or what's the go?
I haven't, like, I've watched it many times, but I'll continue to watch it. Just, it's so good.
Awesome. Have you managed to see it on the big screen?
No, I have not.
Every now and then, every few years, like GU Filmhouse release like the cult classics.
Yeah.
And so I got to see this a couple years ago on the big screen, and
cool.
It was awesome because as much as it looks amazing on like the small screen with all the like film effects and stuff, you get a better sense of a worn out film when it's actually on the screen.
Yeah,
and
cool.
it really adds to it because, beyond anything else, Tarantino is such a film nerd that it's not funny.
Yes.
He grew up working in a video store, so he has nothing but love for these films.
Yeah.
I do love that he doesn't mind answering his critics either. Like, you'll see him interviewed where someone's like, your movies are too violent. He's
my God. He just slowly loses his patience
more
and more with that same question.
I think one of his best quotes, and it's a paraphrase, but it's like, you don't go to a Metallic concert and ask him to turn it down.
Exactly.
You get exactly what you
just
expect.
don't watch it. Just don't watch it if you don't like it.
Awesome. Now, that's all. That's your 10 favorite films of all time.
Yes, it is. It wasn't easy putting it together, but
it's
a good group.
I had no troubles putting it together. Now, remind everyone firstly, where can everyone check out your artwork?
Boneyard Studios on Facebook and Instagram. Commission work for all your cartoon and comic book style needs.
And where can everyone check out your wrestling?
Wrestle Rampage. Check that out on Facebook. We've got our big show finally happening on June 26th at Cosgrove Hall in Clovelly Park. All super excited for this one. Come check it out.
Now, if you could wrestle any wrestler, alive or dead, in the entire universe, who would you take on?
Good Lord. I don't know. I can't, I just want to be against whoever is just the best. Just the absolute. I'm thinking Triple H or something, or just someone who's just like a wrestling god. Triple H, The Rock. One of those, just to be in there with greatness, because something's got to rub off. Something, please.
Who do you have a top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time?
I've thought about this many times, but I can never put together. Sometimes you see online the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers and who it would be, and It's so hard. They're so good. But obviously The Rock's got to be on there.
Yeah.
Undertaker's got to be on there. Hulk Hogan has to be on there.
HBK.
And then it's just that last spot that everybody has a problem with. It's just like, it could be HBK. It could be Triple H.
I had, growing up as a wrestling fan, I had really bizarre fixations on certain wrestlers. Because I was into WWF and WCW. And I was a huge fan of Chris Kanyon because his kicks look so real. So like his wrestling was okay, but then he'd like do a roundhouse kick and it would look incredible. Yeah. Much like Rob Van Dam's did.
Yeah.
And then like Vampiro was my favorite for so long.
Yeah, awesome.
He had this look, but now he's a fat bald dude.
Yeah, it was like hardcore matches in Mexico or something. Yeah, it's great.
It's where the barbed wire's real. They've taken it off the arena they're in for the night.
That's exactly right.
No, awesome. Well, make sure you check out Bones Malone.
Bones Malone.
I'm doing really well.
However you want to say it.
You got to swallow your tongue first, like I just did. Dude, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man. This was awesome. I've seen so many cool people be on this show, and I get to be one of them. So it's awesome. Good fun.
Oh, this didn't actually go to air.
Oh, okay. This was just a trial run.
Yeah,
cool. I think we got it. I think we're ready.
No.
I think we're ready, Dave. Let's do it.
Stick around, Krez is on the way. This is 100.5 WOW FM.